Hey everyone, this is Grayson with PERRLA. With midterms and other big papers right around the corner, we thought we'd share just a couple of tips with you to help you through the process. We've got 4 tips that are going to be all about using references inside of PERRLA, and then 1 to make sure you know about the outline editor in PERRLA Online and how it can help you organize your ideas to tackle that really big paper. So, without any further ado, let's dive in. Alright, for tip number 1, we're going to talk about creating references inside of PERRLA, either by searching for their information or creating them manually. So here I am inside of PERRLA Online, and this works also in Microsoft Word or our Google Chrome extension. But anytime you go to create a new reference, if you're searching for a book, a journal article, or a website, you can search for the reference's bibliographic information, and you probably know that already. But did you know that there's a lot more reference types that you can create, and that PERRLA has all of them covered? From advertisements all the way down to videos, bills and resolutions, blogs, online comments, even apparatus and equipment. PERRLA can create every single type of reference work inside of the APA, MLA, and Turabian manuals. And when choosing those, you can also choose all the different types of sub-references. So not only can we do an anthology, we can do a republished anthology or work from an anthology in another language. All right, let's talk about tip number 2. And that's how to search for those journal articles, books, and websites. You can always search using text, like the author's name and the title put together. And that's going to search across a number of databases and pull back some of the best results that we can find. However, if you have a very specific article or a book or a website that you're looking at, the best thing to do is use the most specific piece of information available to find that reference's information. So, for journal articles, that's going to be a DOI, or the Digital Object Identifier. Lots of journal articles place this really prominently towards the top of the article, but it's always going to be a number that starts with 10 dot something, and usually it also includes doi.org/. When searching for journal articles, you can search for the DOI using the entire URL and DOI in it, or just the 10 dot number and everything that comes after. Books have a similar type of identifier called an ISBN. This is usually the 13-digit code that appears above the barcode on the back of books. Now, this usually starts with something like 978 or 9-. You can copy and paste that ISBN number directly into the PERRLA third-party search, and we're going to be able to pull back that book-specific bibliographic information. Last is for websites, right? Every website has a unique URL, and you can copy and paste the URL into the third-party search anytime. If you're having trouble for some reason getting a URL to work, sometimes there may be a question mark with a bunch of gibberish after it. You can delete everything from the question mark on, and sometimes that may give you a slightly better result. All right, let's take and use this URL right here for tip number 3. Sometimes when you're searching for a website, it may actually be a journal article, or even a PDF of a book on a web page. In the APA, they want to know what the original format of the reference was. So in this case, I've got a web page, and even though it actually is a web page, we're always given the option to change the reference type when we're searching for a reference at the top of the reference form. So if this was actually a journal article and it came back and it thought that, oh, maybe this is a website, we can always take and choose journal article from the dropdown, and PERRLA is going to take all the information that we pulled and apply it to the appropriate field inside of the journal article reference type. That's it. You can make sure that the reference you're searching for fits the kind of reference you're wanting to create. All right, for tip number 4, we're going to talk about reviewing the information inside of your reference form. PERRLA always tries its best to format this information correctly. However, this is information that was put in by some other human at some point. Whether you're searching for a DOI, an ISBN, or a URL, or using an author and text search to find a reference that you want, somebody from a publishing house somewhere entered this information into a database. Or perhaps there's something kind of weird that's specific to your field, like a species name or a disease. Those can be hard for us to catch and make sure that we capitalize properly. That's why in every single one of the forms, we provide help text to make sure that you have a chance to review the information that you're about to put into your paper. All right, for our last tip, we're going to talk about a feature in PERRLA Online, and that's the outline editor. This is an incredibly helpful tool, especially when you're tackling that first big paper, or you've got a paper where you're having to make a long argument, or you're really just struggling to put together the ideas. Creating a good solid outline is like giving your paper a backbone, a good skeleton that you can build around, and it's going to make the writing process significantly easier. So let's take a look at how that works really quickly. Here I am inside of a paper in PERRLA Online, right? Just to the left of the Editor tab, there's a tab for Outline. Let's click that. This is a new place where I can type and enter content, and I can organize my ideas. For instance, right here, we start off with Start Your Outline. Let's just say this is our introduction. And then we're going to do a typical 5-paragraph essay where we're going to have 3 points, point 1, point 2, point 3, and then our conclusion, right? We're going to say what we're going to say it, and then we're going to say what we said. In each of these points, we may have different pieces of information that we want to use to back up our data. So perhaps there's a great quote that we want to put in. And we need to cite the reference that we have. That's excellent, just like that. Let's say in point 2, there's a story that we have from our own life. And we've got that backed up with a few statistics and another great quote. And this one actually has a page number. I can take and I can organize all my thoughts, all my ideas, and all my research here inside the outline. That's great. That helps me put together my idea. But where this becomes really helpful is by using it when we're writing our paper. I can come back to the Editor tab now, and I can open up the Outline tab inside of the Editor. This is going to let me see all the content that we created inside of our outline just a little bit ago. I can now take and I can say, hey, introduction, great. I got that done. Check, I'm finished. And I can keep working down my paper. Let's say I actually have a new paragraph here, and I want to include the quote from point 1. Well, I can either put my cursor where I want it, and I can click the plus over here beside that quote, or I can just drag and drop that into my paper just like that. PERRLA is going to add the text for that item in the outline into the paper, and since we created a citation for it before, it's going to also generate that citation for us. Wow, that's pretty nifty. You'll also notice that it turned green, showing that I worked it into my paper and I've already used it. Now I can keep working my way right down the outline while I'm writing and making sure that I'm staying on topic and know exactly where I'm going. All right, everybody, those are our 5 tips. 1, make sure that you know the difference between searching for a reference and all the different types of references you can create manually using PERRLA. 2, make sure that you're using the most accurate information possible when searching for that reference, using that DOI, ISBN, or URL to find exactly what you're looking for. 3rd, we talked about swapping types. When you do that search, you can jump between the major types inside of PERRLA to make sure that the reference you're creating matches the type that you need. 4th, we talked about reviewing the information for your references. Although we try really hard to make sure that information is correct, it's good to take just a second to make sure that it looks exactly the way you want it to look. And last, we touched on the Outline Editor. This is a great tool when you're really nervous about a paper, or you really just need to pull your ideas together in a way that makes sense. So, next time you're tackling your paper in PERRLA Outline, take these tips with you, and hopefully it makes the writing process just a little bit easier. As always, our support team's here, and we're willing to help however we can. Shoot us an email at support@perrla.com, and I promise, during working hours, we're going to get back to you really fast. That's every day until 10 p.m. Thanks so much for writing, and have a great day. Wait, thanks so much for watching, and good writing.